What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And so you probably saw the title. You're wondering, how can I take my Turbosmart wastegate and turn it into a wastegate slash boost controller? Now, you do know that wastegate is obviously a form of boost control. It's how it controls the boost. But with what Turbosmart came released about a year ago, it is in-cap boost control, which allows you to not have to run an external boost controller or external boost solenoids. And so I'm going to show you what I've done with that. But before we get to that, I want to show you some stuff we got going on with the bear swap. So you're probably wondering, a little update on what's going on. I've been slowly working on it, plumbing it. You got a bunch of stuff came in from Davies Craig and 3P Connect, which is basically, it's like Davies Craig, Turbosmart, what's the other one? Speedflow. It's kind of like a collaboration of a lot of the Australian manufacturers, and they keep all their parts all under one roof, more or less. Like it's kind of oversimplification of it, but that's what it is. So 3P Connect and the guys at Turbosmart and all the brands are listed off. Davies Craig and Speedflow have supported me ever since I've had stripper glitter, and so now that I've got all the fittings and I've been slowly exchanging stuff out, I've been slowly plumbing the car. So I'm going to show you what I've done. Alright, so we got here's our radiator. This is Davies Craig's new brushless 12 volt fan. This is the 12-inch high power fan. I believe this thing moves just under 1300 CFM. I think it's like 1290-ish, 1300 CFM. Speedflow fittings. And then this is Turbosmart's Quick Seal. This allows you to connect your intercooler couplers, your intercooler piping, without welding on the compressor housing. And people are saying, well, why don't you just weld on the compressor housing? Well, what if I want to swap out turbos and now I can't sell that thing, or I have to take a bandsaw and chop off the very front of the housing, and it makes the turbo less valuable. It makes it so that it's harder to sell or harder to use on a different application. And the other thing is that when you induce that amount of heat into these aluminum housing, you can cause distortion. And so Turbosmart came up with this, which is these quick seal clamps. It's got 2 rubber O-rings in it, and it clamps down, tightens it up, and then basically this is like the Plasma Man style clamp. Here is the new Davies Craig EWP electric water pump 150. This thing is an absolute unit of a water pump. I'll have to look at the paper to see how much fluid it moves, but I'm waiting. I ordered the EWP bracket, which will allow me to mount it down here somewhere and be able to run. We're not running the factory fuel pump or water pump, so be able to use that. Okay, let's go around to the back. Alright, so you see I got the welding card. Don't mind the dust. I mean, it is kind of sort of outside. And the styrofoam. I got styrofoam everywhere because, if you may see, we're working on my son's boat. He got a little fishing boat, and we cut some foam to put under the seats because the original, that boat's probably like 30 years old, so the foam that was in there to keep it afloat in case something were to happen was all gone and gutted, so we put the foam back in it. Alright, now back to where I was at. So if you watched any of the previous videos, you saw that we mounted the fuel tank. I think it's a 12-gallon fuel cell. We got all the fittings from Speedflow. These are dash 10s or dash 8s, I believe, maybe. But here's the return line. This is the 120-degree crimp fitting with the light ends, PTFE fuel hose. And this is just rudimentally, just crudely run. I know, all the dust, it looks terrible, sorry. I know, it's the end of spring here in Tennessee, so pollen's going to be on everything, unfortunately. But the fuel line, that return line is run. I got the half battery. This is actually from my Evo, believe it or not. I made a battery mount, made the bracket, all that stuff for the battery. And then under yonder, we can see more Speedflow fittings, and then I've always had a lot of success with these Magna fuel pumps. Now, no, it's not going to support 2,000 horsepower on E85. I'm not looking to make 2,000 horsepower on E85 yet. But that pump right there has never let me down on previous applications. So that's why I run. That's why I'm running it. I know there's a lot of new stuff on the market, a lot of brushless pumps that make crazy power, but I welded this. Those are just tacks, but it's actually welded on the other side to the fuel tank brackets. So I need to. I'm just waiting on the, what do you call it? Fuel filter. I got one of the shorty fuel filters. I'll show you here in a second, but I'm waiting on the big one because originally when I got this stuff, everything was like -12. Which was meant to go on stripper glitter, but as you know, I sold it, and so I don't need -12. Sure, I mean, it would to have that kind of volume would be good, and I can grow from there. But -10, I think, will be plenty for what I'm trying to do. So anyhow, the fuel, it's obviously gravity fed, so it'll go from here to the shorty filter to the pump. From the pump, it'll go through the larger filter, which is I'll show you the one I'm sending back to speed flow, and then that'll go up to the front of the car. Of course, Menser shocks. I don't know if you've seen this stuff in previous video, but strange brakes, double bead locks. This is a beefed up 8.8. Alright, so on to how to take your wastegate, which was like this. Originally, I've already disassembled it. So your wastegate would have looks like that, assembled, right? So you want to turn this into your boost control as well. You're going to need this guy right here. So what this allows you to do, it has, see, it says solenoid A, solenoid B, port A, port B. So you'll be able to install the solenoids to control the CO2 gas, or if you have compressed air on board, you can use that. And then you have the sensor, which goes on the top. But in order to run this, setup, you do have to have the compressed gas gates. And what I mean is once you take this all apart, so you put this in a vise or you put it in a press, and then you'll loosen up the ring. You'll take your top off, you take the ring off, take the top, and then you will take your, your wastegate spring out, whatever size spring. And inside, the differences between this and a regular Turbosmart wastegate is that in the compressed gas wastegate, these have the beefed up inverted diaphragm that is designed to support the compressed gas pressure. Like this is designed for, I believe it's 2,000 plus PSI. Your standard Turbosmart wastegate that is not designed for CO2 is not going to withstand, is not going to be able to withstand that kind of pressure change and duty cycle that this thing is going to see. So if you want to be able to run this, you already have to have a compressed gas wastegate. So it's very simple. As you saw, I took it apart, placed it in a vise, loosed up the locking ring, and now I'm going to go ahead and put it together and convert this into my boost controller and wastegate at the same time. So it has this aluminum ring. You notice this part here, it's machined here to fit that, so that it fits nice and snug. You'll go ahead and take your wastegate spring and you'll place it right back. It rides right in that groove. And of course you can run whatever configuration of spring you want to run. That's why it has the different pedestals. But this is all any because I'm running CO2. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my cap right on top of the spring. And then you see I got a new fancy locking ring, which is gold, to match my car. Because if you notice, everything is like black gold, and then I got like that that cool like ruby red paint job going on the inside of the engine bay. So place this on top, and then all I'm going to do from here is I can press this down, because this spring that I'm using right now currently is not that heavy. And you notice on the wastegate there is little notches, and it lines up with the, it's a male and a male and a female notches. So you just line them up, press this down, get it in there. There we go. And then I'll get this started, and then I'll just place this in the press and finish it. Get it started in my hand. Whoop. Now this is not that easy to do, especially if you're running like a heavy spring, like you're running like a big spring in there. This is going to be a huge pain in the butt. So always put these in a press when you tighten these down, so this way you know it's completely tight, and that way you don't have any leaks. A press or a vise. If you're at the track, you can use your trailer jack. Oh man! So just gonna take this, place it in the press, and then tighten it up. All right, so we got the wastegate in the press. Now I don't need to put a whole lot of pressure on this thing. It just doesn't need it. This is more or less just to make sure that it's seated. And when I run the cap down, or run the ring down, everything's nice and snug. So I'm gonna go about this slow. So I see it stop. Oh, mama. Now once it's all the way down, go ahead and tighten up my ring. How you doing, young lady? Now, Turbosmart does have a spanner wrench you can use to tighten this down. They sent me one, but it's too big, so I can't use it. So I'm just going to use a chisel and a hammer. It doesn't take a whole lot. I don't need to beat the shit out of it. Yep. Loosen that up. And now we got one assembled in cat boost control wastegate. Okay, so now from here, you see a port A, port B, solenoid A, solenoid B. This is going to be for your compressed gas that you'll attach to it, and then this is for the actual solenoids that is provided with the kit. These guys right here, it doesn't matter which one you use, they're both the same. The other thing is that in the event that a solenoid stops working, Turbosmart sells these individually. So if you need an extra solenoid, you can just buy this instead of replacing an entire boost controller. All you're doing is buying just a solenoid. So it does have machine flat edges on it, so you can take a wrench and then tighten it down. And you see it's got O-rings on it. So we'll go ahead and just thread these in there, because I'm going to put it on the car anyway. One. Make sure you clean off the O-rings. You don't want to, like me, you see my work table's got debris all over it. So, push that out of the way. And that one in there. And it looks like maybe a size 13 wrench to tighten it down. You see there's machine flat spots on the sides of the heat shrink. So I'll just tighten that up. And then you have the actual sensor itself, which I believe is this guy here. And then this little guy. I don't see any O-ring or anything on it. So I'm assuming it doesn't need one because it doesn't have one. And then this guy threads into the top. If I can get it in there. Come on. guess I gotta put some fur around it. Get in there. There we go. Alright, so I'll just snug all of this down. And now we should be good to go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw this back on the car. It's fully assembled. I did take 11 millimeter to tighten these down. I'm pretty sure that's a 10 millimeter under there, but with the heat shrink on it, you know, it's wider. But I was able to get slip an 11 around it and then snug it down. And then we'll save these for the CO2 when we get to that stage. But today we're not going to get there. But yeah, look at that gold. It's not obviously the burnt kind of gold we got going there, but it looks a lot better than just the silver. Alright, so go ahead and assemble all this. These are the same exact gates. These are the identical gates to what I ran on stripper glitter. I just had 2 of them because obviously I needed it for the kind of power I was making in that car. And that car was making 2,000 plus horsepower. On this one, I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. But when we do, I know that I have another one. I have another gate in there that if I need to run a secondary gate, I can. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this on there. Put the car in the air right now on these what do you call it? On the quick jacks. It's a little bit harder to set this up. It's fenders on it and everything, and I don't want to drop it. Get on there. Do something like that. If you notice, I tried to clock it. Try to set this so that the logo and everything is horizontal with the car when it's all installed. Details do matter. And I'm not going to run this fitting, just FYI, like these. I ran these previously. This will come off. So I'm not going to run these little push lock style with the nylon hose. There we go. Too tight because I still got to clock it with the pipe. we got it installed. And it's on there. Now, it's like just snug because it's not permanent. But we're going to change that. But yeah, that is your end cap boost control. How you convert your wastegate, your compressed gas wastegate, to a boost controller with end cap control. You're probably wondering why not, you know, what makes this any better than your standard boost controller. And now, from what I understand, now, you know, I'm not no specialist, I'm just a hobbyist, but the control that you're seeing is immediate. There's a lot of, because if you think about it, you know, when you, a lot of time your boost controller, it might be a foot, 2, 3, 4 feet away, not 4 feet, but it may be, it all depends on your setup, but that distance between the wastegate and the actual controller, the solenoids, there's a delay there. Now, granted, you may not notice that delay, I mean, you know, as a human, but I guess in terms of data, and maybe that could very well mean the difference between winning a race and not winning a race, is just how fast it's able to adjust and do what it's supposed to do. And even that could even be for, like, if you have traction control, and traction control, you know, you use the fact that taking timing away from the car, it may turn the boost down. Or it may be for the fact that, like, you know, you grab a scramble, it might mean the difference, that timing difference of grabbing the scramble and how fast it adjusts to, you know, compared if it was further away from your control source. So now, like I said, I am no specialist, and don't take my word as 100% the gospel, but that's kind of how I understand it. And I think it's very awesome that the guys from Turbosmart came out with this. So again, I think it's a really awesome solution. It's just one less thing that you have to install in the car because the wastegate's already there. So you might as well do it. I've heard great things about these. And then I'll be controlling this with a Haltech, which I have yet to install in the car. So all of that stuff is in the garage right now. I'm probably going to just rudimentally run it in the car this afternoon because I'm not working today. I will be tomorrow, but anyhow, I'll run that, and I'm just waiting on the Haltech screen to come in. Apparently they're on national back order. I didn't know that when I ordered it, but they're on back order. So anyhow, I'll get all that stuff set up. Turbosmart, you know, says that, you know, their control strategy with their solenoids, you know, works hand in hand, so we shouldn't have any issues there. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you all tuning in, and if you know, have any questions about this stuff, you know, feel free to comment below. I can do my best to give you my educated response. If not, I ain't going to bullshit you. You know, reach out to the guys at Turbosmart if you have any questions. But thanks for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, and hey, let's get over that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're so close. All right, guys. See you.